Hello.
Hello.
How are you, Joanna?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So, I'm Dr. Joanna Robson. I'm a veterinarian based out of Napa, California in the North Bay. And I'm here to talk a little bit about eCPR, emotional CPR, and what that means to me and my profession.
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
eCPR, when I was first introduced to it, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I went in a bit blind, but excited about learning, discovering something new. I liked the concept, particularly because I had heard about the high suicide rate in veterinary medicine, which right now is actually the top of the pyramid. So veterinarians are holding the #1 spot for suicide, and there's many reasons for that. Everything from high student debt load to lower starting salary to moral stress about convenience euthanasias or dealing with ongoing animal suffering, and emotional blackmail from clients who might say that we're in it for the wrong reasons because we won't treat their pet for free, but we have a business to run and materials and supplies to pay for, and ease of access to medications. And I think generally veterinarians are really sensitive people, right? We get into the field for noble reasons. We want to help both human and animal pain and suffering. So when there's a bad Yelp review or a comment on a Facebook group about something that maybe isn't true or attacks us on a personal level, it can really leave a deep mark. And I think there's been a stigma in the profession about reaching out for help and talking to our peers about what's going on. As a white coat professional, we're generally supposed to be the strong doctor, right, and take care of things. So that's starting to change. There are groups that are working to reduce the suicide rate and the stigma and provide a safe place for people to reach out when they need help from their veterinary peers. And then I heard about eCPR and thought, oh, suicide prevention, emotional presence, embodied listening, this could be really interesting. So I attended the University of Tennessee College of Veterinary Medicine session on eCPR. And I remember very shortly into the session thinking, why hasn't everybody heard about this? Why isn't this everywhere? And I asked how many sessions had been done, and I think I had attended the third, and immediately was struck with a need to get this out there on a global level, basically, for my peers. And eCPR is really something that we are inherently born with. It's the natural ability to just sit and be present, embodied listening. And as veterinarians, we naturally have the ability to read nonverbal communications because our patients don't speak. We're the Dr. Doolittles, right? We have to look at changes in the eyes, changes in the ears, changes in the mouth and the lips, postural changes, be it a cat, a dog, a bird, a horse, a cow even. But we're not just dealing with the animal side of things, we're dealing with the human element as well. And so much of our profession really isn't about just treating the animal in front of us. It's about dealing with the human aspect, and those humans are coming to us with their own set of emotions, maybe a history of trauma, crisis of some kind. Can also be joy, can also be happiness and giving. But we may have a scenario where a person is coming in with a dog that belonged to their parent who has just passed away. And that dog either has never been treated and needs care, or maybe that patient needs to be helped to cross over, and that client isn't able to let go because that's the last thing that they have to hold on to as a memory of a parent or even a child or a husband, a spouse, wife. So it brings in this whole other aspect of things that we have to deal with. And I've often thought to myself that veterinarians need to have a degree, not just in veterinary medicine, but also human psychology and business. Because we're not taught well how to run a business either, and that adds to our stress.
How do you think that emotional CPR will be of help now that you've taken 3 of these sessions?
Yeah, so I've done 3 sessions, and each one has been different.
Now that you're a facilitator.
Now that I'm an official eCPR facilitator, yes, so excited to do that and be able to take this out into the world. Each session has built upon the other. Each group was very different. I've learned so much from my colleagues at these sessions as well, the trainers, obviously yourself and Maria, but also the participants in looking at human behavior, human interaction, how generally, regardless of one's profession, just being human, we all share the same fears, the same stresses, financial stress, stress at home, concerns about litigation, dealing with clients, bosses, managers, and yet there's this pervasive maybe fear or block in sharing those emotions, right? There's not a safe place to put the wall down, put the guard down, and really just be real with what's going on. eCPR specifically for veterinary medicine, if I had my way, I would like it to be mandatory as part of the curriculum. That may not be possible, but I think if it's at least offered for people to dip a little foot into the pool and get a sense of what it's all about, and to open a door of a safe place to really feel and heal, it will help them not only with their personal stresses, so the moral stress they're dealing with their own decisions as a veterinarian every day, but also the stress that they might take home to their household, carry over to spouses or children or parents that they have to take care of, and then also dealing with clients who may be in crisis. So the veterinary profession is dealing with...
Clients are the animals.
Clients is the human clients.
Oh, the human
clients.
Okay, so the humans are clients.
The human client with the animal patient, I would say. Yeah,
okay.
And there's different definitions depending on what circle you're in. But let's say we have a client who comes in who's in crisis mode because they're struggling with making a decision for their animal that is a family member to them. Being able to sit with that person and just hold space while they're going through tough times, and to not take that client's reactions to things personally, because that's what we tend to do, be it a bad Yelp review or client lashing out at us in an exam room because they're stressed over a decision that they have to make that either they can't afford, they don't have the finances for, or it's an emotional, they feel like they have their back against the wall and trying to make a decision that is life or death for the animal in front. And again, it could be a cat, dog, a horse, an exotic, doesn't matter. And then there's other aspects of our profession that we have to support one another. One of those that was brought to my attention recently is depopulation. Veterinarians that are working in a livestock situation where there's an infectious disease and possibly a whole herd or multiple herds or flocks of animals have to be dispatched, euthanized en masse, can be hugely stressful. Laboratory animal technicians and veterinarians dealing with primates on down to little rodents or dogs and dealing with that stress every day, and who do they have to talk to or to relate to. Being in a clinical situation and having, maybe you're a veterinarian or a practice manager and you have a technician come to you who's in stress for something that they're dealing with either at home or right there in the clinic. How can you be present with that person in crisis mode and help to de-escalate the situation and give them space and let them know everything's going to be okay?
So you feel that eCPR would help with those situations?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's necessary. Looking at what our peers write to us on some of the forums, the stresses that they're dealing with,
I've heard some of them. Oh my God.
Horrible scenarios that people are going through, stresses and suicidal tendencies, and some people who've even attempted, some people who unfortunately, colleagues who have succeeded in ending very valuable lives, precious lives, because they didn't have a space in which to share those feelings and really feel protected and seen and heard.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Covered even more than I could have hoped for, and it's been a delight to work with you, and
Thank
look
you.
forward to
And
more in
with
the
you.
future.
There will be much more in the future, and I look forward to bringing eCPR to the veterinary community as a whole.
So do I.
Let's do it.
Okay. Onward.